Hello and welcome back to Finance with Darius. So today we're going to take a look at a problem with NFTs, which is known as right-click save. So, like here, we're going to get the Bored Ape Yacht Club up, which is probably the most famous of the NFTs, and you can see that these go for a lot. Like 34 Ether is the lowest price. And as these are digital assets, their origin is digital and not physical. So a lot of people think that they don't have the same value as traditional art, and that you can just simply do right-click save. So save image as my mine. Sorry about that noise. And look, I've got a $1 million bored ape there. Awesome! What a way to start the day. So I personally I'm quite intrigued by this concept because valuing art is something that seems a bit odd. So I started off by going to Sotheby's, which is a famous auction house, and I discovered that auction houses are not just like supermarkets for art. What they do is that um, they guarantee that the art is real. So if I type in one of my favourite artists, which is Lawrence Lowry, he basically does. Oh my God, going to the match is available. Yeah, he basically does these kind of Where's Wally things, and he's from Manchester, and I love it. Um, you'll see that we get all this stuff here, like provenance, and we get a big long story about it all. Because Sotheby's has experts um, that their job is to basically guarantee that the art is by the person. So I went and found this, which is the criteria they use to value art. There's 10 in total. You can find it yourself on YouTube. They're only like 5 minutes long. They're good videos. And I actually wrote down all of the criteria. So you can see them up here, and we have authenticity, condition, rarity, provenance. Provenance means like the place of origin, historical importance, size, fashion, subject matter, medium, and quality. So historical importance is, I don't know, if you're selling a book, I don't know, did Muhammad Ali use it to do shit on? That could be historically quite important. Um, some of these, as you can see, are more subjective, but the list in essence is objective, so it's unbiased, and it's how these lads work out how art is valued. Now, I am sort of planning to go through each one of these in detail, but today we're just going to look at authenticity and see how this relates to NFTs. So, the first thing we're going to talk about is the Catalogue raison. I'm sure that's how you pronounce it. So here is the catalogue of Jason Pollock, who you might know as that painter who basically just flick stuff. Um, on that's such disservice. He's a painter, and here is a list of everything he's ever done. Right, and this is all certified. So if one of these auction houses is flogging a modern artist like a Picasso or someone like that, they have a list of all of the works they've done, and it has to be checked against this list. Now, doesn't that sound like a blockchain? Well, I think it does. You might not. I was waiting for a response, and there wasn't any. Like most of my jokes. But what? So first of all, we can see that NFTs are better at doing this than real art, because if you think of someone like, I don't know, like a sort of Rembrandt, like no one's got a list of all his paintings. He fucked off like hundreds of years ago. So we have to basically guess, which is the next thing, which is called connoisseurship, which is where it's like a sort of it's like a consensus of academics who all get together and say, yeah, this is probably a Rembrandt. And sometimes they're right, and sometimes they're wrong. And so here you can see that there's an article about auction house guarantees, which is that if something is real or not. And here you can see from the art paper, um, there is an issue around this. Like what they're basically saying is that this connoisseurship and catalogue raison are quite draconian in how they decide what is art and what isn't art. Sorry, what is real work by an artist. The blockchain solves all of this because you can just go and look and see that it was created at this date by this person or whatever. At least I hope it does. So what's the next thing? Okay. So this is an example of why the blockchain is good, because occasionally you will get an old painting or an old sculpture. Like for example, there was a Rodin that was discovered fairly recently, and it had been kept in a warehouse for 20 or 30 years, and then they found out that actually it was a Rodin. So happy days. But here, you might have seen this. This is called the Savior of the World, or Salvator Mundi, and it was believed to be by Da Vinci. And 450 million was paid by Mohammed bin Salman. You might know him as the new owner of Newcastle United, but he also likes chopping up journalists. And he paid 450 million for this. And you can see a couple of years later, it was discovered to be fake. It was done in Da Vinci's workshop, but not by Da Vinci, and it's not worth 450 million. The blockchain technology that allows you to see like every transaction or whatever would have solved this problem. So, is it as simple as right click save? Probably not, because we can see from this list here that pretty much everything on this list is addressed by NFTs and the blockchain technology. So I believe that this is not only a valid form of art, but it's going to be a more profitable market for us to get into. So I hope you enjoy that, and I'll try and get a video out tomorrow.